Let's take a look at Photoshop interface and get you warm and comfortable. Here at the top left, we have our options bar. The options bar is context sensitive, meaning I am currently on the rectangular marquee tool. All tools show you their names when you mouse over and pause for 2 seconds. If I click the Move tool, the context changes to options for that tool. That brings up my toolbar. Now the resolution from my screen is 1280 by 720 for recording. Unfortunately, that cuts off the bottom icon to change screen belt, so I can go back to the double column toolbar. Clicking at the top of your toolbar on these 2 little white arrows switches to the double column layout. Before I get too far into the interface, I should mention its complete change of look and feel, and I have to say, don't be afraid of the dark. This was a little off-putting for me at first, but now I'm in love with it. If you look at many high-end applications like Photoshop Lightroom, Premiere After Effects, or even remembering Backfield's slick graphics days, the $10,000 workstations that you purchase to do high-end photo and movie retouching, they all had this black or darker interface through a dark gray. This interface lends itself to hiding the tools and panels from your view, obscuring them more so you could focus on the beautiful rich blues in this image as an example. I was very used to the light or white background in Design and Illustrator, so it took me some adjustment the first couple days. Now I am very comfortable, and I preferred to start area because I do find the tools and panels far less distracting. A note for the power users: if you really don't love this new dark interface, there is a keyboard shortcut to get you around it. It is Command F1 or Command F2 if you are on a laptop. On the Mac specifically, you might have to use what I call the freaking nuisance key. The little FN really stands for function, but let me show you. Command F1 goes darker, Command F2 goes lighter. So there is 4 for toggles here. I have gone to the lightest by hitting Command F2 or Command FN. F2 on Windows, that Control F2 and Control F1. Now I am going to use the F1. Command F1 darker, Command F1 darker, or Control F1 darker for each mode. So if you don't love the new interface, just set it back to something you are more comfortable with using those keys. Now that I have mentioned tools, you can see I have got a better view of my foreground color, background color, and I can also see some missing icons, my edit and quick mask mode, and my change screen mode icons. I should also note that the letter F occurs there. Simply hitting the letter F once goes to full screen mode with menu bars and panels. Hitting F again may scare some people. It goes to full screen mode with black background and no menus. Hitting F one more time brings all of your panels back and goes back to the standard screen mode. Now this is the beginning of the DVD, so I will try to avoid too many shortcuts, but I had to show you in case you inadvertently hit the letter F. That could happen. You could lose your menus and panels, and many people think the computer is locked up and not sure why everything disappears. The next area of your workspace is on the right, your panels. So we have collapsed panels. Clicking once on the word History expands it. Clicking again collapses it. I called this opening and closing the drawers. Click once to open the drawer, click again to close the drawer. If I click once to open the drawer, I can move to the bottom edge and stretch History. History will become very important. It is a listing of everything you have done since you have opened Photoshop. I will click again to close History, and here I can see an expanded view of my Color panel, Adjustments panel, and Layers panel. If I click Appear in the upper right corner of these double-sided arrows, I can go to the collapsed view, which takes up a little less screen territory, and then I can click the word layers to pop them out and stretch them to expand. For the beginning of this video, I will expand those, and the last part of your screen I want to dissect is your zoom level and your document file size. If I were to go to the rectangular marquee tool and select the couple and choose Layer, New Layer, via Copy, it makes a copy of a couple on a new layer, and you could see that your file size is changed. The flattened TIFF or PSD file size would be, the file size with layers would be 19.8. So you will see this right side grow as you add layers to your document. And lastly, we have the new mini bridge and the timeline. Timeline is for video editing or creating videos from your 3D effects. I can double-click on my desktop and see a few images that I have stored there on my desktop. I can also go into my Assets folder, into my Getting Started folder, and get a good preview of all of the images that were in my CS5 DVD. Your Lesson 1 folder will look different. I will double-click on the word Mini Bridge to collapse that again, and this was your overview of the Photoshop workspace and the new darker. UI, if you like to talk dirty, or user interface to define my acronyms. Take some time and experiments with the panels, collapsing and expanding your tools, collapsing and expanding your panels on the right, and getting a workspace that is comfortable for you.